everyone, it's me, Krista. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome for the very first time to my little art corner here on YouTube. Today is day 16 of Inktober, and the prompt for today is wild. We are getting there, over 2 weeks in now, and about 2 more to go. For wild, I was originally going to do a tiger, then I was like, maybe a panther. Then I thought maybe one of the kitties, then maybe a kitten climbing up my leg. But I changed my mind. Through discussions of wild animals, I also went to a hyena, because I thought a hyena would be cool to draw, but I changed my mind. And then my mother actually suggested doing a Tasmanian devil. And then I was like, what about a honey badger? And then I showed her the video about the famous honey badger and how honey badger don't care. But I did decide to do a Tasmanian devil, because I feel like they don't care either. I also just liked how a good chunk of the reference photos I could find, they all looked very, very angry. They're such rage-filled marsupials. I also find them weirdly cute. So, that's what we're doing today. I am putting in my sketch/outline by using a Bic Mechanical Pencil. I like these cheap pencils, and I like going back to them every once in a while when I'm drawing. I am also bringing back the Copic drawing pen in F02 in black. I really like the lines I get with this. I like how thin they are. I'm into it. This is the same paper that I've been using for most of these projects still. The Mixed Media Toned Paper in Blue by Strathmore. I've really been enjoying this paper for these projects. It holds up to wet media fairly well, especially considering I haven't been taping these guys down. And it's a pretty smooth paper, so using the pens and markers on it work pretty well. And at this point in the drawing, I am just using that Copic pen to go over the main lines that I want to keep in this drawing here. Once it's dry, it stays put, and it does not smudge like some other markers and pens that I have used in the past. Because I will be laying down some bottles of ink with a water brush soon. I wanted to make sure I laid in the white for the teeth and those couple of white markings that Tasmanian devils have. Not gonna lie, this drawing kind of reminds me of Templeton the rat. Just angrier and without the need to eat all the food. Or maybe he's so angry because he couldn't eat all the food. Who knows? So I laid down a little bit of white ink for very specific parts, and now I'm going in with the black ink. The black ink, which is the Sennelier Abstract Acrylic ink. Definitely making sure that I add a lot more water this time to try to keep it from getting super black super quick. I've been using paper plates for basically my palette with a lot of the ink washes this month. I've been reusing the same ones. And it's nothing that's sectioned off. Something you can do is use a plastic palette that has little partitions and put the ink in with varying amounts of water. Something I used to do when I was in school and I was doing ink painting would be to get some Dixie cups, little small biodegradable ones. And I would put varying levels of water and ink in each one. And I would have them kind of round and separated so I would be able to keep better track of which ones are which shade. I don't use that method anymore, but at the time it was a really easy way for me to be able to keep the different ink washes separate and to shade things a little more easily when I was starting out with the medium. At this point of the painting, I have some shading roughly put in. I'm doing some very rough grass shading, doing a really easy, kind of lazy looking background. And once that's dried a little bit, I start going in with that same Kuretake fine tip marker I've been using in a lot of these projects too. I really like this marker because it has such a fine tip, but you can also get thick lines with it as well. It's very flexible. I did realize something about Tasmanian devils when I was doing this. Well, obviously they don't look anything like the Looney Tunes character, duh. But their paws look a lot like little hands with sharp, sharp claws on it. It's really interesting. Kind of like how little raccoon paws look. This drawing in particular was a lot of fun for me because I've obviously never drawn a Tasmanian devil before. So it was a different kind of animal for me. And usually if I do any animal that would even look similar, it would be like a bunny. I used to draw bunnies a lot. I wanted to make sure I actually drew the body and not just the face, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't just draw a bunch of people's faces for Inktober. I'm really attempting to do different things and play with different techniques and try different subject matter than I would normally do. And so far, that's been a lot of fun, and I think I've learned a lot. At this point in the drawing, I'm starting to bring in the Posca pen in white to bring out some highlights, and again going to that black Kuretake. At this point, I'm going to be just texturing out, doing extra lines, defining everything more, and adding in some bright white highlights. For finer lines, I'm still using that Copic pen, and I'm pulling in a white gel pen for the white ones. Woohoo! Has everyone else been participating in Inktober too? How many projects have you done? What kind of projects have you done? And what supplies have you guys been using? Let me know in that comment section down below. And also let me know if you've learned anything about using ink. I'm very curious and I would like to know. I think the more we share experiences, the more we all learn. I sound like such a hippie right now. Go figure. Pretty soon here I decided that I don't like his eye being closed, so I decided to try it open, and I think having it open made him look angrier. And that's what I wanted him to look like. I wanted him to look mad, not like he was yawning. And I threw in some whiskers with the white gel pen, and then I go over with the Copic pen to line them a little bit better. And then I also pull in a fountain pen and dip it in the jar of ink to do the same thing. I just wanted some thin lines to make the whiskers look slightly less chunky, because they were looking pretty thick for being whiskers. I also go a little bit ham on adding different lines into the grass and the fur, doing the chunky little black lines and white lines around. Kind of almost makes it look like he's standing in some grass. Maybe just a little. I also go over parts of the body where I just place some of the white marker with the water brush without adding any extra ink, just to soften them up, because there's already a little bit of black still on there. It just blends it in a tiny bit. At this point I also start trying to define the outline of his little body a little bit better. Our little Tasmanian devil was getting lost in the grass a little bit, so I wanted to add some thicker black lines and some white lines to help separate him just a little bit. I should really play around with the dip pen more later. I don't know if I'm going to be using it a lot more in projects like this as experiments, but I might need to play with it on some scrap paper and see what it does. This project here is almost finished. If you liked this video, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, feelings, concerns, or you want to share your Inktober experiences, leave them in that comment section down below. If you want to see more videos like this, please feel free to subscribe. I do want to take this time to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day or night to watch this video and listen to me ramble about art stuff. And in the case of this video, a little bit about Tasmanian devils. Or as this drawing looks, a very, very angry rat. But again, thank you for watching this video. It means the world to me. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon, and you will definitely be hearing from me soon. Bye, everybody!